This is it, guys. The final match of the evening, the final match of the fall. Honestly, we have our seeds. We have our teams 1 through 4 who are coming here to play off for $67,000. But now we have to seed them. This, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Our last match of regular season, and what a way to end it. Vibe taking on Infused. Second seed up for grabs. It's going to be an awesome matchup. I'll pass it to my co-hosts on the desk. Gentlemen, let's get your thoughts on this initial matchup. Harry, we'll start with yourself, buddy. Vibe versus Infused. How are you feeling around it?
I can't wait. I mean, it's almost a bit of a mammoth matchup when you think about it, because Vibe, they fell off second spot yesterday, and Infused, last season in the regular season, despite placing 4th at finals, they were actually second at the end of regular season play, so they're looking to go back-to-back second places in consecutive seasons.
Yeah, so a win for Vibe would secure the second spot because, yes, they'd be tied on 7 wins, but it goes to head-to-head. And as last time these guys matched up, Vibe won it 3-0. They would naturally win that head-to-head with 2 wins over Infused.
Well, you know what, guys? We'll show you the rosters now. Who's going to be going head-to-head? This is a seed-off, ladies and gentlemen. In the red corner, the Red Devils themselves, Team Infused. Vibe Life 420 on the opposing side. In the blue side, let's take a look at the rosters. Batchford, Kimbo, Flux, and Doodle. 4 incredibly talented players and 4 well-known names. One of them, the summer season champion, Dan. This is a pretty stacked roster. They've taken down Fab before. The question is, can they now take down Vibe?
They definitely can. I don't think anyone is doubting that. I mean, yesterday I said I think I favour Infused going into the finals with second seed, but it's gonna be down to the game types for me. I think both of these teams are pretty much neck and neck at the moment. There's a few players that really stand out. Flux for me is a really important one. He's always in that position to kind of take down any player that might be contesting power-ups or power weapons, and he always seems to get those kills. So I'd be watching out for him in this game in particular.
The 4 other people to be watching out for are, of course, Team Vibe Org. Snaky, Christola, Snipe Drone, and Septic. Again, 4 incredibly talented players and 4 very dangerous Europeans. Harry, this roster it's a beast.
It's stacked, isn't it? I mean, just look at the 4 names on that roster. One you might not recognize as much, but Christola was a standout in last season despite being on the Dinosaurs roster that was in relegation. In my opinion, the standout player for this squad, which is a bit of a surprise, but not really when you think about it, is that man middle right of your screen with his cheeky little grin, Snipe Drone. He, yesterday, was the only one who really brought his A game to the Fabi squad yesterday when they went up against that Fabi team. The rest of the team was a little bit lackluster, a little bit behind the pace. Snaky had his moments as well, but here we can see the series layout of how these 2 teams are going to match up against each other.
And they will be kicking things off with game number 1, which will of course be Eden Strongholds, what we have just come out of. Back-to-back Truth in Slayer and Capture the Flag for games 2 and 3. Back-to-back Plaza for games 4 and 5 with Strongholds and Slayer. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be definitely seeing a game 4, if not a very, very well fought game 5.
You know what's very interesting? When these 2 met at finals, it went to a game 7. These 2, obviously not the same lineups.
Yeah.
But these 2 organizations, when they met up at finals, obviously Snaky and Septic still on Vibe. And also, who was on the Infused lineup? It was definitely
Warlord.
Batchford and...
Was Warlord in place of Kimbo?
Batchford and Doodle from that squad, who are still on the Infused squad here as well. So, interesting. They went to a Game 7 at finals. Can they go to a Game 5 here for the final day, the final match of the Pro League regular season?
So, I'm going to say the same here. If this goes to a Game 5, Infused will lose it. I still think that on Team Vibe, there is just that presence of knowing how to handle such pressure, because that's a lot of pressure, you know? That's a season standing on the line for this game. I don't know about yourself, but personally I think if this goes game 5, Vibe take it. If not, Infused have just got to shut it down, say, no, boys, this is ours. Game over.
I mean, now seeing the game types, I think this favours Vibe in general, especially as you get towards the end of the series. Plaza Slayer and Plaza Strongholds, both 100% records for Vibe across the board. Truth Capture the Flag, 66% win record for Vibe, and 80% on Truth Slayer and 60 on Eden Stronghold. So quite strong On the other side for Infused, there's a few 30%, 50%, but their Plaza Slayer record is also good. So if it does go to that Game 5, both teams have yet to lose a Plaza Slayer, so it will definitely be a tasty one.
But when we talk about overall kind of game type percentage, the first game, we talk about the first game quite a lot, how it can be, you know, a springboard into a series. You can use it as momentum going forward. Both teams have kind of similar win rates on Stronghold game types. Infused have 53% and Vibe have 57%. So not a whole lot of difference between the overall Stronghold win percentage between the two teams. So I think game 1 is going to be a very interesting one.
And game 1's quite an important one. You talk about momentum, you take that, you're going to roll into confidence into game number 2. It's just going to be, there's no other words for this. This is going to be a fantastic matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody out there, tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS. Post it on Facebook. We're streaming on Facebook Live. We're streaming on Beam as well. If you've never watched on Beam, go and give it a watch. It's a cracking little quality. It's top quality Halo as well. This is going to be a mad, mad game. The spectate button has gone. I keep saying as, not has. My accent. You are getting worse. Well, sorry, you are calling it out. Me getting worse with this really rubbishy accent. You've put me off now. I'm blaming you. You upset me in the last.
I just said Norman speaks very good English.
You said you were better than me.
Yeah.
It's really upset me.
That's not about your accent, though. That's
I'm thinking it methodically now as a better word.
Richard, I love you.
I love you to bits. Gentlemen, give me the fist bump. Let's finish hard. Let's finish strong. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final series of the fall season. This is regular season. This will seed these two teams. Best of 5. Who are we going to kick things off with, boys?
I think it most certainly has to be Cristola. I mean, he played very, very well throughout the entire season. Had a bit of a lackluster series, as we touched upon yesterday against Fabi, but he's trying to make amends here against Infused.
And he goes down to the overshield guy. That's going to be Flux, I do believe. Matchford will move his way up to Catwalk. 2 players coming in, though, off of the spawn over in blue. He does have one person that's going to be Kimbo helping him out. He is forced to go back, though, to at least try and get his shields back. Not sprinting anywhere, so he can misses the beatdown, unfortunately. Thankfully, he just runs by him. God, I'm struggling with my words tonight. I have absolutely no idea why. Kimbo still with that camo, going to move over to red base where they are spawning, and honestly, they can just put so much pressure on them and just slay them and keep that pressure on. Look at this, though. What an angle. Stand on top of that platform and no grenades can hit you. There's going to be a one-on-one battle happening in Catwalk. Triple cap, full effect for Team Infused.
Worth noting that Batchford has the highest secures and captures across the whole of the league. So having that player in your team, that is really going to be a good thing to move forward in Stronghold. But in general, this has been an incredible start from Infused. Vibe just haven't been able to respond by the early aggression that they're really just setting the pace Infused are now.
Yeah, we sorry to cut you off there, but Flux is number 1 in defenses, but also Snaky on the Vibe side is up there in number 3 as well. So a very interesting matchup here. I'm very surprised that Infused are dominating this so hard. It's almost like Vibe can't just get a stronghold under their belt and then kind of compose themselves as they did against Fab yesterday. Looks like that's what Septic's trying to do. He's trying to put pressure on with the rifle, but once again, look at the shots coming in from the Infused squad. Septic just doesn't have a moment to breathe.
Trying to grab an angle on that one player. That's going to be Flux. Flux does push back. He's going to have a look out the window. For Septic, sees him first, dominates him. What a cracking shot to rip his face off over in that window. Catwalk is halfway being captured, and all of a sudden Infused member will walk in and clean that one up and get the hill reset. Blue Bend as well is also about to be captured, but you know what? The Nest could be the saving grace here to just put a halt on that triple cap, and he has come in, unfortunately, though.
Yeah, so this could kind of be the similar kind of scenario we saw yesterday. Sartron here, I thought what he wanted to do was actually there try and back off over towards that red hill red base and just try and stay alive and anchor that position. But you can see in the kill feed once again, Kimbo here picking up this overshield, and Infused getting the slays makes it impossible for Vibe to even try and get a point on the board right now.
And Vibe are at their best when they do have control of these strongholds. Yesterday, like you said, Snipe Drone was always in a position where he'd be lurking around strongholds. He'd allow the players to come to him, and then he'd surprise them when they walk round a corner. But at the moment, pure control from Infused. They've got all the goodies as well. Rockets and overshield for Kimbo, and we know what a powerhouse this man is, and if you're going to give him the tools as well, it's going to be a sad story.
My word, what a mess for Team Vibe at the moment. Kimbo's going to rip tear with the overshield. There's the second one as well. Double kill comes in. Red Nest is absolutely clear. Only a breadstick coming in for Snaky, which is rather unfortunate. 10 kills, double figures here for Kimbo. We talk about this man time and time again. He's an absolute powerhouse of a player. Such a great addition. It's a massive pickup for Team Infused.
Yeah, not only that, there's only been 3 minutes in the game and he's already on double-figure kills, so that's pretty crazy from Kimbo, especially when you consider the high-caliber Halo that's being played here in this game. These are the top 3, 2 of the top 3 teams in the league right now, and tell you what, Kimbo's just making short work of Vibe at the moment.
We're just about to hit the 85-point mark. Still 0. This could be a donut coming out of Team Vibe. They just can't get any footing on the map. However, saving grace, Catwalk is under capture. There's one more player there. That's going to be Snipe Jun. Doodle doesn't want to give it. He goes steaming in with the AR. Couple of shots. Thankfully, Snipe Jun says no. They put a point on the board. That's 2. They've got 2 captures. Now they might be able to make something happen. They're still in a lot of danger. 89 points to 4. That is a mammoth wedge of a scoreline down.
It is, but Vibe are more than capable of having a comeback here. When they do have control, they are great on Strongholds. They just need to make sure they position themselves so they can help each other when their opponents are pushing and trying to take these Strongholds back. When you are so close and you're in this position like Infused are, sometimes you do get a little bit too aggressive because you're in touching distance of winning that game. You know that you just need to maybe take 1 Stronghold, so you make some questionable decisions, but Overshield will go into the hands of Infused. That's going to be the perfect way to take back one of these Strongholds.
I honestly think that's going to be game. They've got Rockets and they've got OS. Oh, what a cheeky ground pound at the end there, just to manage to put the stall in and allow himself to grab that ledge and clamber all the way up to Catwalk. Grenades are going in. Fair enough, he's not actually got that Catwalk point, but it's allowed his teammates to come in. They've cleared up Blue Bend as well, and now they can just rush in. They can grab this. Gents, I think that's going to be game.
I think it will indeed, and Doodle should just secure this Catwalk with Rockets in his hand. And actually, somehow, he was able to survive, but there's no players of Vibe anywhere around Blue Bend or Nest to take those Strongholds off of Infused. So that is going to be 1-0 to Infused, and quite a commanding way to start the series.
I don't even think commanding's the word. That was dominating. What a way to set a precedence on a series and say, I'm sorry, boys, we are second seed.
Yeah, Infused really stamping their authority in game number 1. Kimbo, the man, he's the star player. I've said it time and time again for this Infused squad. 17 kills in around 4 minutes. That's insane.
That's nuts.
That it really is just insane. We have Batchwood up there with 11 as well, alongside those 3 secures. On the Vibe side, nothing of note. Snaky with just the 2 kills. And Infused, they're looking strong here in game number 1, and they're moving into game number 2 with a 1-0 lead.
I don't know how you come back from that. We speak about momentum. What's a better momentum shift than giving a 100 points to 17? How? That's just a bit of a beating, is that? You know, that's really kind of saying, fair enough, we're not just going to beat you, we're going to slaughter you. And you're going to feel really down going into this game number 2. But then again, as you mentioned, Dan, Vibe are really good at being able to just shake it up and say, nah, it's all right, boys, stick together.
Especially because out of those 5 game types, this was Vibe's weakest. We now move into their strengths, and we maybe move into Infused's weaknesses. Truth Slayer, Infused, only 1 and 2 across the season. However, it's 4 and 1 for Vibe. So I'm looking for them to get back into this. I'm expecting to go 1-1.
Can I just remind you guys that at the start of the season, Kimbo found himself without a team. Think about that. Let that sink in. Kimbo did not have a team until the last couple of hours.
What were the tweet? I've been to the toilet, come back, and now I'm teamless.
Yeah, like that blows my mind. And now he's the most positive player in the league, and he isn't carrying this Infused team, but he's a star man for the squad, and he just plays impeccably every single game. And it dumbfounds me, the fact that he found himself without a roster.
All right, then, Truth. Let's not look at the game type of Slayer and Capture the Flag. Look at Truth as a map. How does Truth as a map play to each of these 2 rosters?
I think Infused are quite spread out, and they're quite aggressive. They like to push in pairs, whereas Vibe are a little bit more grouped up, and they'll use maybe a 3-in-1 situation. They use one player to flank just as a distraction, so it'll be an interesting one. It should be pretty messy. I don't think either team are going to be able to get too much control in either game type, to be honest.
No.
Ponza, my boy, I have sick nerd chills for the EU Halo Series, Team Infused versus Team Vibe. Watch it, hashtag HCS. Ponza, the man, the myth, the legends that runs HCS live tweet. You, my friend, are the saving grace of Halo Esports. The amount of times I've not been able to watch an event and they can just watch his Twitter feed happily all day long.
I got chills for a different reason. It's a little bit cold.
It's very cold.
That's my fault. I've got a jacket on. I put the aircon on.
I saw a load of players talking about like the air conditioning here in the arena because they were here at the summer finals when it was kind of hot.
That was warm.
It's a different story now. You don't want the air conditioning here. It's freezing cold.
Chills, boys.
Honestly.
Chills all day long. I'm fine.
Yeah, you're chilling over there.
I've got a coat on.
You have a hoodie on.
I've got a hoodie on and aircon on.
Brilliant.
It balances it. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's
Glad
not
you're
brilliant.
alright, Sims.
Yeah. Blame Sims.
Hey, this is all about. But don't blame me for any of the games. No. Now I'm getting abused by
Dan,
production in here. We can't have this.
like penguins, try and heat up a little bit.
We'll get there. He can be on his own.
So we're cuddling. We've had hand holding.
No, this is
now we've had.
I'm not putting the moves on Dan Gaskin just yet. After a
next
couple of
week.
beers, maybe, but not just yet.
All right, then, guys. Game 2 is just about to get ready.
Why are you
Remember,
laughing?
tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS. This is the battle for second seed. Infused versus Vibe. Infused really going at it and kind of setting the precedence towards the series. 100 points, 217 was game number 1. Please, please, please join in the conversations. Tweet us your thoughts. I'm sure Reesh on the social media, we're putting tweets out. Remember to amplify them, retweet them, share them. Let everybody know what is going on. This is a cracking match lineup that we have on your screens now. The spectate button, eye in the sky, is live. We're going to be getting on board. Whose POV do you want? I'm like you choose here, Danny boy. Whose POV do you want to be watching throughout this one?
I'd like to see Cristola actually. He's doing pretty well. I think he's leading the way in flag defense for his team. So he's the kind of player that is always in a position to make sure that flag is not going to be captured by the opposition.
It's a shame it's a Slayer though, really, Dan.
Is it? Oh, we're not on capture that flag yet. God damn it.
Just yet. But I will say, I'm going to actually steal this from you, and I'm going to say we should be watching Doodle. You know why? Because he's the league leader in perfect kills per game. Number 1.
Perfect kills for Doodle?
Yeah.
Now, that without actually any disrespect in any way, I wouldn't have put that on him.
No, certainly not. You kind of expect like a I don't know what you'd say,
Brandon
like
or a Mose, so to
Mose,
speak.
or even like a Kimbo or an SLG. But no, Doodle, the most perfect per game on average in the league.
And what a kind of a map for him, because this, we say it time and time again, Truth is his playground. He gets the rifles, he'll just take up a point. 9 times out of 10, it's P2. Look where he is, P2. I'll chill here, I've got a BR. Not a problem, boys, let them come to me. 4-1 is the current score, taking a nice early lead here for Team Infused. They're going to answer back though. Snakey's got that sword, an absolute prolific weapon on this map, especially with the advanced ability of being able to move that little bit faster. Cristola moving in for the fuel rod. The power weapons now transferring back into that. Please don't hit him. He did. He actually tagged him up. Look for the assist medal in the bottom corner coming up. Bang, there it is. Septic, golden medal. Again, another golden arrow as well from Cristola. Sticks it in as Flux will drop as well. We also saw a perfect medal coming out. And now all of a sudden the scoreline's changed a little bit, Dan. It's 8-5.
Yeah, look for the difference in teams and who really takes advantage of their control. Infused had control of the map. They had rifles. Vibe sat back. They chose their moment. And then they pushed out. And now they've managed to turn things around. With this control now from Vibe, if they can push on, get maybe something like a 10-kill lead, that's going to put them in good nick for the remainder of the game.
10:30, still plenty of time. Double coming out of Septic with the carbine. The carbine absolutely destroys people, even more so at long range. The accuracy of this weapon is truly, truly incredible on this map. You can completely lock down carbine with the carbine itself. Grenades are going to be going in to the top. Nobody's there, no hit markers are found. But look at this, if he moves to his right, he's got 2 players. There's one, second one comes out, double kill. The triple's above his head. He's going in to give his teammates some support. Beat down, there's the triple. Looking for the over, it's top mid. Can he land it? Can he get it? No, he can't. It's stolen out of his hands by Snakey. 17's away. What a difference from the start of the game.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Vibe have control now. They've pushed on every single time that they know Infused are just clumped in a base. They push in together. They ensure they pick up those kills because they know that every kill is valuable. But they need to be careful not to overextend too much and give up control of this map.
I want to swap over to this guy right here. He will go down in the end, so we'll stay through the death screen with him purely because we talk about Doodle, who's number 1 league leading. Snakey's right behind him in number 2 for perfect kills per game. So this man's aim this season has been on point.
Which is pretty, again, and this is no disrespect, quite a surprise when we see him time and time again struggling for kills a little bit. He always seems to be at the bottom of the leaderboard. However, he is on Vibe. He does trust himself. He's been on Fabi before back in the summer season. He certainly knows how to play this game. Moving across now to Flux of Team Infused. Snipe drones in front of him. We can see him on the player outlines. You're going to find him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit down, Sunshine. Another perfect kill coming out of Flux. Finds Septic as well, looking for another one. Not quite a perfect, but a headshot nevertheless, and a Protector medal as well. 10 kill deficit. They can quite easily make the comeback, but they've just got to slow things down.
That shouldn't have been able to happen. Flux shouldn't have been able to push so easily through Pink there just to surprise 2 players. Vibe need to have better control of the map if they want to continue pushing on and winning this game. Yes, okay, they've got an 11 kill lead. They need to be careful because as soon as Infused get a sniff of control and you give the P2 to someone like Doodle or Flux, they really will punish you as you are constantly pushing off spawn.
I love that. He's just able to turn away. It just says so much about teams, teamwork and communication. When a player like Flux can turn away and all of a sudden we just see the golden arrow appear in the kill feed, knowing that his teammates cleaned up that one player. He needs to be careful as he goes around this corner. There's going to be 2 players there. I think he got stuck, which he did indeed, so the sword's going to go down. 30-18 is the score as we approach the 8-minute remaining mark. And I tell you what, Vibe, they have turned things around in comparison to game number 1. Cristola with a double kill as well, and a perfect, nice hot 4 shot coming out with that BR in the kill feed. It's a different team, boys. It's an absolute different team.
It really is. I mean, across the board, both of these teams are very strong in Slayers, but remember last season, Infused, I think, only dropped 1 Slayer across the whole of the finals. This is looking completely different now on the Vibe side. Vibe just aren't giving Infused room to breathe, and it looks like they're really struggling to respond to that fact.
Yeah, and the team to steal that Slayer away from them was Vibe, in fact. I wanted to swap over to Snipe Drone because his game yesterday against Fabi was incredible. It was impeccable. It was unfortunate that his team couldn't pull out the win in that one, but we will swap over to Cristola, who is probably the least experienced on the Vibe squad, but honestly, so far this game, he's turned up and he's looking to tie up this series 1-1 as his team have a 13 kill lead.
That is insane. What a difference it is. 7:10 on the clock. Tries to make his way around to the attic, unfortunately is dropped down. Snipe Drone with the fresh sword in his back pocket. Going to go steamboating across the map to help out his teammates. There are no players here, so they're going to be spawning in the opposing base. Grenades go in, but don't find any markers over in P2 whatsoever. They've no idea where that initial player is. Kimbo's going to go creep down towards P1, just take a look at the camo. Not entirely sure which time that's going to become. I've not been keeping track of it, unfortunately, but more than likely, if he's checking it, it's going to be sometime soon. 1, 2, 3 players on the player outline. Snipe Drone's just getting aggressive now. He's not necessarily overextending, but certainly he's getting in their face. And look at that. What a flip side of the map that was.
I love it. As soon as Vibe lost control of the map, they were in the base, they patiently waited, they slowed the game down. As soon as they were able to single out one player, that's when they pushed out, that's when they made their mark and made an impact. Now they have a sword to work with as well, and this is just going to be a formality with just 6 kills needed. There is no way in hell Infused get back into this game.
GG, no re, my friends. 1, 2, 3 players on the player outlines. In goes the Splinter Nade, just blocking that bottom mid assault because he's no shield whatsoever. He knows all he has to watch is P1. And in fact, I say don't have to watch bottom mid assault. In comes Kimbo with the Storm Rifle. Down he goes. The sword is no match for him up close and personal. Only 4 kills remaining. 5:50 on the clock. Look to see some grenades going in here. Batchford all tanked up. Doesn't go down. Doodle's going to give him some support, but there's another player down at P1 as well they need to be careful of, and that's because the camo has just popped. Let's see if Infused can grab it. More than likely going to be Kimbo and do some work.
Notice when Infused are in that P2, instead of pushing them, Vibe just flush them out with grenades. They try and encourage them to come out onto the streets so they can take the pistol fights because they're more than happy to take those individual battles. Cristola is going to go down to Batchford. There is a tall order, but it is possible that Vibe could get Infused could get back into this perhaps, but with just 2 kills left, it's definitely going to be a very difficult one.
He's got to be careful that he don't get pinched because look at where they are in comparison. Snakey's not seen him though. That's incredible. He just held down for a second. Remember, the slower that you move, the more harder you are to see with this camo, guys. You're not completely and utterly invisible. You're still invisible off the radar. Bang! See you later, Septic. Gets his head knocked clean off with the sword from behind. 2 more players are in that. They've actually not got a single death out of this. In the last 30... Oh, just as I say that. Curse of the caster. Kimbo's going in for it. He's all tanked up though. No shields whatsoever. That could be GG. No re if they do find where he is. Unfortunately, jumps out. He's still alive though, looking for that grenade bounce off. Nobody needs to die. 36-39. They only need 1 more to seal the deal. Do Team Vibe. Thankfully, it's going to be Flux who manages to stay alive. Get a kill with a Storm Rifle. Unfortunately, Kimbo pokes out just a little bit too overzealous, but he still stayed alive.
Yeah, they are doing what they can to get back into this, but it's going to be extremely difficult. But at the moment, Vibe are struggling to find that last kill, and they're going to be sweating a little bit more every time they die because they know that they are ever so close. They just need to group up and push together rather than taking these individual fights, to be honest.
One thing I've got to say, Harry, I don't know if you agree with me here, this is a different team to what we saw at the start.
I was about to say, beautiful movement there from Kimbo. Knowing the situation, he cannot die. He saw there was 3 players at Carbine and said, you know what, this isn't worth it. I'm going to die here and I'm going to lose my team the game. Decided to run with the sword backwards, but as we expected, it was only a formality. Infused did their best to come back in the game, but will lose 50-41.
What an incredible matchup, though. I mean, it was a bit of a slaughter at the start, but they found their footing at the end. 18 kills coming out of the man, Cristola. Don't want to call him out for carrying his team, but he's certainly putting the work, especially when you've actually got the least amount of deaths in the game as well, and 9 assists. That is a cracking effort from him.
Yeah, Cristola doing work, 18 and 10, and then just behind him in terms of, well, just ahead of him actually, in terms of assists, 12. Most in the game from Snakey. On the Infused side, Doodle not really pulling his weight as much as you'd like, but don't worry, he's got a few more games ahead of him to try and make amends.
Let's see if we can make a difference as we move on in to Truth Capture the Flag, which will be our game number 3. And I've got to say, boys, we can at least guarantee we're going to a game number 4. Said it at the start, I'm feeling a game number 5. These two teams are matched neck and neck, everything on the line. That there, though, this was so close. I mean, we didn't catch it at the end. He got away with his life by hiding on the outskirts in top mid. But any initial thoughts from you gentlemen before we get into this next game?
Vibe were a little bit shaky towards the end, but I think it's just because they wanted to get that last kill, and instead of thinking about it and slowing it down, they just kept pushing and pushing, knowing that it was eventually going to come. I don't think it was even in their heads that they were going to lose that game, so they were more than happy to allow Infused to rack up the kills. It didn't matter at the end of the day. But moving on to Truth Capture the Flag, again, I think this does favour Vibe, and I think they should be able to take this one. They do have a better win record across the season on Truth Capture the Flag. They also matched up against these guys in Week 1. I know this is a different Infused squad, but it's also something that might be playing on the minds.
And if Cristola can dominate the game like he did last game, then Vibe certainly have a very good shot. I mean, there were rarely times we switched to an Infused player, certainly in the first half of the game, where they weren't taking damage, and if Vibe can do that on Truth Capture the Flag, they're going to open themselves up so many opportunities to start running flags. And when you're putting that amount of pressure on with just the pure amount of flag runs, then it's tough to stop a team capturing a flag. I mean, basically, if Vibe play like they just played the Slayer, I think they'll be okay in this Capture the Flag.
Well, we're going to be finding out very, very shortly, guys. This is going to be an awesome one. Tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. Remember to check us out on Facebook Live and, of course, on Beam Pro as well. We are streaming on every single channel possible. It's an incredible match. This is the last series of the day, the last series of regular season. Fight for second and third seed at EU Finals. Infused currently at 1-0 up against Vibe. They're actually drawn up 1 now, but 1 apiece from Jimbo GPK. Thank you, Jimmy, for sharing the stream. Much appreciated, brother. Of course, Jim earlier on, not only just, I mean, they secured #1 seed yesterday, but certainly proving that they are the #1 team in Europe right now. So, gents, Truth, what's the play? What's the key to winning out on a flag game on Truth?
Not pushing out one by one like Infused were at the start of that game. They were kind of spread across and spread too thinly, I would say. I'd like to see them group up a little bit more. Vibe have been, similar to yesterday when Vibe faced off against Fab, they always had kind of Snipe Drone lurking around and putting himself in a place where he was really being a nuisance. But for me, I think you've just got to get into the base. You've got to be pulling those flags regularly and not being afraid of pulling a flag. A lot of teams are kind of scared of pulling that flag. And if you don't get it out, you're not going to be able to capture it, right?
Yeah. And also another thing, I know we harp on about it, it's almost like every single time Truth Capture the Flag comes up, you have to keep an eye on that sword. You have to make a mental note about where that is at all times, because we see Fabi are the best in the league at doing this. If you can secure the flag with the sword, you move across the map in about 3 seconds. So very important you make sure you keep a note on where that sword is, because if you let the other team get it and they start snowballing with kills and top middle control, it's going to be easy for them to move the flag across the map, and all of a sudden the game could be out of your hands completely.
just while we're getting this map number 3 underway, guys, make sure you check out our Jinx giveaway, esl.gg/EU-HCS-prize, t-shirts, hoodies, and lanyards all up for grabs. Make sure you go and check that one out and tweet it as well. Let everyone else know that they can win some fantastic prizes. Just a little bit of throwback here, since it is Thursday, by the way.
Throwback Thursday!
Hey, TBT. Do you remember when we watched Infused? I think it was a reverse sweep when it came to flags. I can't remember who it was, but we saw Warlord do that incredible. There were 2 caps within 20 seconds or something ridiculous. I can't remember who it was against.
I want to say it was it Dinosaurs last season?
Yes, because they almost won. There were 2 up, weren't there? And they went down 3-2. So we do know Infused can do amazing things when it comes to Truth CTF. However, Vibe can do exactly the same.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. And honestly, this series is mouth-watering because now that it's all tied up 1-1, both teams know they can take games off of each other. And that just sets the series up for these last 3 game types absolutely perfectly. I can't wait.
Well, we're just about to get this one rock and rolling. Capture the flag is live. Truth CTF, the first team to capture 3 flags. My words are so mixed up today. I do apologise. I'm well and truly off of it. Will take the game.
I want to start things off with Cristola.
Okay.
Because he has the most flags defended in the league, and he also has some pretty good flag captured too.
And it is captured flag this time, so we can actually watch it.
And you know what? Compared to what he did last game, I'm actually quite impressed to see what he can do, because he is an awesome slayer and generally overall player. Down goes Batchford. Sword gets transferred into the hands of Cristola. Doodle's down there as well. Kimbo's going to come out. Flux comes steamboating. He doesn't see the player. Gotta reload though. No! Rest in peace as he will drop down from Cristola. Snaky's also going to get taken. Snaky will also take one down of himself. But Kimbo, with that hot thrust right at the end there, gets out of the way. He will answer back, as now the Fuel Rod is also going to come into play for Team Infused. But unfortunately, it's going to be Doodle. He's got that camo as well, so he can do some disgusting work with this. He's just got to find the right angles and right time to use it.
Yeah, and I like the flags being pulled here as well. Just because you're in such a commanding position, you need to make sure you distract any players that are in your base, because otherwise they can be pulling the flag. So good stuff, a nice way to distract, just to try and regain some map control here. I think Vibe needs to be careful as well, not to be taking too many 1v1s. We saw Snaky challenging Kimbo. That's not how you're going to win this game. We know how dangerous Kimbo is in any 1v1 situation.
He needs to take out Kimbo, otherwise Kimbo's going to take out his flag carrier. Grenade comes in from Flux. That's going to be a GPK, ground pound king. Jimbo would say it himself as he thrusts that, but actually thrusts it, ground pounds it straight into the platform. 1-0 now for Team Infused. And that kind of, for me, that was all down to Doodle. The damage that he was doing was that fuel rod and just staying inside the base for all that time. That single-handedly pretty much keeping them pinned back and causing and allowing that flag capture.
Yeah, invaluable work there from Doodle. Really set up his team, excuse me, to put that flag in. It's going to be Batchford in the end who puts it in. And a lot of the Vibe players, a lot of the Infused players down at the moment, which will allow Vibe to try and force a flag run, but they do just that. They force it. Doodle will take down Sniper Drone, and the flag is returned. 10 minutes left.
Septic needs to be careful here as well, because grenades are just going to come flying in. Infused are more than aware that he is around there, but he's got the battle rifle to use effectively, but I like that he's just trying to stay alive. He needs support from his teammates before he's going to push down this pink street, though. Otherwise, he might just be fresh meat for any waiting Infused players.
Looking over at Cal, there goes one. Batchford's going to try and hide in bubble and catch any people coming off the spawn, at least lock down that side. 1, 2, 3 members on the outline, though, as we see Septic just getting surrounded and pushed into a corner. In comes Doodle, but you know what? Septic's giving as good as he gets. Will challenge Kimbo. Kimbo says not today, my friend. Shuts him down with the carbine. Camo guy is below as well. Top middle control well and truly in the hands of Sniper Drone. Picks up a double. There's the triple. Looking for Batchford for the over. Batchford says, you're not having me, my friend, as he just kind of hovers across there. Will stay alive as the stabilizers do kick in. Down goes another one as well. Doodle wants a piece of the action. He comes in, shuts down Sniper Drone. Kimbo still and well and truly alive though, Dan.
Yeah, it looked like for a while they were taking too long to help support Septic there in P2, but As soon as Snipe Drone did arrive, he was able to pick up some really important kills. Unfortunately, he ran out of ammo, as this might have been a different situation. Vibe are at their best when they do have control of the map, but they are constantly contesting Infused for P. As soon as Vibe are able to lock that down and get a rifle, have the support from their team, that's when they're going to be able to pull a flag, that's when they're going to be able to get into this game.
The player on board with right now, Kimbo, not only has he been a superstar all season long for Infused, he's second in the league in KD, second only behind the best player in Europe, and that is respectful. But Kimbo will be taken down, so that's going to allow Doodle now to try and run a flag and try and distract some of the Vibe players before they push out and try and pressure some of the Infused spawners.
Oh, no, he needs to be careful of Snipe Drone, though. He came up the elevator. Bachelor's still trying to stay alive. Snipe Drone is not even going to bother going for the return. He just needs to stay alive and keep the pressure on, which he does. Flag return as well, goes toe-to-toe with Flux. Flux has got the upper advantage, though. He manages to finish him off. It was actually Kimbo, so that's going to be across the map, just kind of giving another reference of how good the teamwork is here on Team Infused.
Vibe at the moment just pushing one by one far too often. But I suppose if you've got a sword in your back pocket, I'll allow you to push on your own. They need to make sure they're grouping up because it's just playing into the hands of Infused. I'd say Infused are at the best when they do have those individual battles. You've got players like Kimbo, you've got players like Flux and Doodle who just don't lose. Like you said, Doodle has the most perfect kills in the Pro League at the moment. You don't want to be going up against these guys. You want to be making sure you're taking 2v1 situations.
He's just an incredible player. It's just, more than importantly, he's just an important slayer and an anchor. Going to jump up into E-line, at least get that flag on its way. There is a play around that corner, which is going to be one of his teammates, so they can still get this one moving. Snakey and Cristola running straight into the sightline of Kimbo. Carbine doing some disgusting work, please don't get it. Finally, Snakey shuts him down. Batchford's up there with the flag as well, just going to try and put some good shots. He gets a grenade off, at least in the face of Cristola. The flag is behind, whips around, shuts that one down. Cristola's going to, no!
Lovely.
No, what a double coming out of Batch. Unfortunately, he just didn't have time. That was a great play. I think it was Snipe Drone who went up and above P3 and came behind him. If he wouldn't have got that kill, that was most certainly for me be another cap for Team Infused.
Yeah, Snipe Drone is keeping Vibe in this game at the moment. He's getting so many important kills. There seems to be a bit of confusion from Vibe as to how they are going to approach this game. We saw Septic kind of flank around and pull a flag there. He was just shut down immediately. Needs to make sure he is with his teammates. If you are going to be pushing around, you need to make more of an impact going for kills rather than just pulling a flag willy-nilly.
Oh, as he drops into the base, 4 players do catch him off guard. They will light him up quite easily. You can see he's just checking the fuel rod. It's such an important weapon. Such an important weapon mainly on this game type because it just does so much damage. I mean, on Slayer, fair enough, it does its own thing and it's able to, but because of capture the flag, because of the scenarios, been able to pin them back and just sit and wait for people to walk into them while you run the flag away, it causes so many problems for teams. Septic takes down Flux, moves across back to his own base just to check that no one's there, catches Doodle for the double looking down. Kimbo's there for the triple. He will run away and get away with his life. Needs to be careful though of the person that has just spawned in the corner behind him. Flag goes in. We're all tied up, ladies and gentlemen. 1 flag apiece.
That's when Vibe are great. As soon as they have control, as soon as they're moving a flag, they really control spawns effectively. Septic putting himself in a position, anyone off spawn, he can just listen to his teammates and he can take down any target that he wants. Tying it up and tying it up deservedly.
Kimbo's just a Terminator though, man. Every single time we see him, he's just taking on multiple opponents. He's putting damage down on almost everyone, but a couple of kills here coming in from Vibe, so wouldn't be surprised to see them try and force a little bit more map control. Flux doing his best to try and take down Septic. He does so with a perfect. And now Snakey has Infused locked in the base here from the bubble.
He's in a great place. I mean, if he can stay alive at least, he's getting shot from each and every single angle. Great grenade though, bounces it off the floor. Batchford does shut him down finally with the AR. Cristola as well in the kill feed with a sword kill. And now it's all about Snipe Drone trying to stay alive here in P2. He's got one person above his head. He's still not seen him on radar, so he has no idea where he is. His teammate will call him out. The Doodle will just 5 Septic from the air. Does go down from Snakey across the map and moves away from top mid. Kimbo's also forced to push back as Snipe Drone just drills him with the BR. Flux is going to come steaming in with the Spartan charge and a sword in hand as well. So it's going to wipe Snipe Drone off the face of the server. Down goes Snakey. He gets answered back.
Yikes.
Unfortunately, hits the roof, so he does get caught off guard a little bit too much as we move on board with Doodle, just looking to get his health back.
I said this game was going to be messy, and I don't think I was wrong. It's just so back and forth. Neither team can really get control of the map. A constant contention for that P2. The sword is making the biggest difference at the moment. It seems whoever has that sword, that's when they push forward, that's when they're getting aggressive.
Yeah, and with only just over 4 minutes left on the clock, I tell you what, the pressure's starting to build, and if this one goes to overtime, Oh, I don't know who I fancy, to be honest with you, but Doodle's doing his best to make sure that doesn't happen. He's running a flag, and I tell you what, there's no pressure on him right here, Sims.
No, they need to block the opposing side. There were 4 members down, so look to see them all rushing across. We're looking on the player outlines. No one's there.
Oh, baby.
GPK, in we go, 2-1. And what a crucial time to do it when there's only 4 minutes remaining on the clock, Dan.
And do you know why they pushed forward? Because they had the sword. They were able to just push on with sheer aggression, knowing you've got it in your back pocket, knowing that you can take down any opponents that get up in your grill. But Septic does now have the fuel rod cannon, which made a real big difference early on when Doodle had it. So now he needs to make sure he can do the same thing.
You're looking at the exact same thing what I did.
Yep.
That stall mid-air with the stabilizers was fantastic. Kimbo just scoped in, he stabilized, he avoided the oncoming fuel rod below him, and that's pretty much going to be a counter cap. The flag's there. It's all on Kimbo to save the day, though. Grenades are coming thick and fast, and he chucks it out of the window.
Wow.
Little bit of a saving grace here for Team Infused. That flag is waiting to be captured. Let's see what can happen. Cristola's there using it as bait on the defense. This is do or die. There's the return. Another player goes down. 3 minutes on the clock. 2 flags apiece. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the wire.
I was slightly worried when Vibe pulled that flag because you saw them training it. All 3 of them were down at P1 and they could have got shut down. Fortunately, they were able to get that flag far enough. Kimbo did manage to delay it by throwing out that flag, but actually, if he was able to pick up that kill on the flag, it would have made a massive difference. But now, we see the sword in the hands of Sniper, and I said it's made the difference when pushing forward. If he can get 1 kill, he can let his team know they can push in. They've got the man advantage now. This is when they get aggressive. This is when you push into the base.
Doodle's left on his own, though, over at the bubble, so he needs to be careful. Snipejohn's got full shield and a sword in his back pocket. Scopes in on Batchford. Batchford manages to get out of the way. And now we see the team members of Vibe all rushing, just flooding this red base. They want to get this final flag capture in to seal the deal and pushes on into game number 4. Snakey's there as well. Look at this aggression. Infused are getting slapped around in their own base. Here comes the pull. He's going to bring it towards Snipedrone. Snipedrone's going to collect it. They've got the sword. So long as P side is completely covered, Hamza's is the only one that could do anything. 2 members are pushing in from P1 to try and stop it. Ground Pound's going to be coming in. There we have it, guys. Team Vibe take game number 3. 2-1 is the scoreline in this series. 3-2. That came down to the wire.
Oh boy, what a game. That
Insane.
was crazy. Snipedrone continuing his fantastic performance from yesterday. 26 kills, top slayer in the game. Just behind him was Septic with 23, 2 flag returns and a flag capture for Cristola. Only the 11 kills for him, but he won't be too, displeased with that. He won the game 3-2, and just like that, Vibe have a 2-1 lead going into game number 4.
And it was the Snipedrone show, I'm not going to lie. I mean, not only was he putting kills on the board, but his survivability was just insane. At the end then with the sword, he had the option of staying in the base and challenging a pistol fight with his teammate. Instead, he knew how important it was that having and keeping that sword, not only just for getting kills, but for the flag run that was going to follow therefore after. So he did fantastically to stay alive. Snipedrone showing why he is one of the best players in Europe.
I can't believe it. I mean, looking at game number 1, honestly, game number 1 was totally different. They got absolutely trashed in game 1, and since then they've not really looked back. Now, here comes the pressure point. Can they clean this one up, or will it push on to game 5? Do we have any stats on Plaza?
So Plaza Strongholds, 100% record for Vibe, but they have only played it once. On the opposite side for Infused, they are 2-3, just a 40% win rate. So you perhaps lean towards Vibe, but as they've only played it once this season, I mean, I don't think the statistics say that much. Across the board for Strongholds, Infused do have a better record than Vibe, especially after taking the first game of Eden Strongholds. So perhaps this is going to be another game for Infused, and we might go to a game 5.
Yeah, I think taking that game number 1 for Infused is massive for them going forwards, because yes, they are down 2-1 in the series, but they're going into a Strongholds and they've already won a Strongholds. They already have a Strongholds on the board in this series. So that's a good confidence boost for them. They can take that going forward. You can see right there how the series has panned out. If they can take Plaza Strongholds away from Vibe, all of a sudden, we're teed up for a Game 5 Plaza Slayer.
I want to say something like we normally do, the most generic comment going, shut down the big Slayer, shut down Kimbo, that's what Vibe need to do. But when you look at the roster of Vibe, Snipedrone at the moment is on a rip tear. We've seen Cristola step it up in certain games. We know Septic can. Fair enough, he's having a bit of a rough series so far, but we know Snakey can do absolutely prolific things when he gets going. Both these rosters do not want third seed. Well, I mean, they're coming anyway. They don't care. They're coming to the finals. But second seed is extremely, extremely important. And more than anything, I think it's pride. For these two teams, it's a lot of pride on the line. Plaza Strongholds is game number 4. And if it is needed, and I think we are going to go to it, Plaza Slayer will be game number 5. Can I get your predictions for not only this match, but the possibility of a game 5?
I think Vibe might actually take this game, but the viewer in me wants Infused to take it, and if it goes to a game 5, it's anyone's game, because both of them have a 100% win record on Plaza Slayer.
I don't think I've seen enough out of Vibe on Plaza Strongholds. I can't remember even the last time I saw them play it.
Do you know the last time?
Tell me.
It was week 1. They played against Infused, and they won it.
Well, there we go.
There's your answer.
But we didn't see it, 'cause it was on stream.
Oh, right. So
you didn't actually see it?
I wouldn't have seen it.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen them play it. I just always think Infused know what to do on Plaza Strongholds. I always watch them play, and I always think they're doing the right things. You know, when they're trapped in yard, if they ever get trapped in yard, they know what to do. And yes, I know this is not the same Infused lineup, but you know, Infused last season against Pulse, they had that horrific, or they had like a 98-50 lead against Pulse, and they threw it away on this very game type. But I honestly think this Infused lineup is completely different and plays completely differently as well from last season. So I fancy Infused on this one. Game 5 going forward. I don't know. It's anyone's guess. I don't know anymore. I just hope it goes to a game 5.
It's literally the flip of a coin.
Yeah, you called it. It's there for the taking. It's who can kind of deal with the pressure more. You say pride's on the line, but there is prize money on the line. Obviously, finishing higher in the league, you get a little bit more money. So
yeah.
That's going to be something they're going to be taking into consideration going into game 4 or 5.
I mean, these players anyway, I don't think they take anything considering apart from the win. We've said it time and time again. These players, that's what it's all about, especially at this higher end. It's all about the win. They're scrimming each other constantly. They know how each other plays. It's just playing your opponent to the weaknesses. Really trying to find, you called it earlier on, the chink in the armor, exposing it and abusing it. You know? I mean, all right, while this game's getting set up for game number 4, on both teams, give me what you think is a weakness from both sides.
The weakness, I
know it's not easy.
I don't think either team has a weakness, but I think you need to try and get rid of their strengths. So Kimbo and Snipe Drone for me are the two players that are really making an impact, and you just don't want to be facing any 1v1 battles against either of those guys. You can essentially take them out of the game if you just, when you see them, just run away. Or just make sure you've got someone. You say, look, Kimbo's here with me. I don't want to take this 1v1 fight. I don't want to take the risk. You make sure you've got someone to back you up.
I agree. I think you have to take away the strength of the opponent. I don't think either team really has a weakness. The strength for Infused, for me, is Flux. He is... I mean, you can see in the statistics, you can go on like Halo Data Hive and you can look at like the top 5. Throughout Strongholds, he's like at the top for almost everything. Like secures, defends. He anchors Strongholds so well. So if your Vibe, your number 1 priority, take out Flux on whatever Stronghold he's on, and then you can capture that. But the problem is, if you try and fight Flux on a Stronghold, he puts down so much damage that it allows Kimbo, it allows Doodle, it allows Batchford to come in and clean up the kills and all the damage that Flux has put down. He converts them into kills. So you got to take away Flux on the Infused side, and then Vibe. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's so tough to try and figure out what the weakness is on the Vibe side.
Sorry to break you up. I don't think we've seen yet. Don't think we've seen the best of Septic, and I think it's there.
Yeah,
the demon's ready to come out.
It's always there. But he said it himself when we interviewed him. I think it was around week 2 or week 3. He said, I'm happy to kind of step back from the star player role. It takes a lot of pressure off my shoulders, and now I'm more of like a role player. I just have to be consistent, and I know I can do that because I am as good as I am. So yes, Septic always has the potential to go off, but I don't think it's necessary for him to go off for this Vibe team to do well. And I think it's the same with Snakey as well. They both have the potential to do so, but I don't think it's necessary for them to win.
Yeah, for sure. I think the statistics say the same as well for Septic. He's not up there with the KDA. He's not up there with how positive he is. He steers the ship. He is the captain, and he will make sure that these guys are pushing on, and he's not going to let that ship sink either. He's one of those players that he will do whatever he can to get the win.
Sit down, you're rocking the boat, Dan.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Speaking of pushing on, Game 4 is live. Can Vibe seal the deal with a 3-1 victory, or will we be pushing on into game number 5 as Infused do manage to fire back? Strongholds on Plaza is game number 4. 100 points to seal the deal, or at the end of the time, whichever team has the most points will be the victor. Plenty of stuff in play on the map. Let's see who can grab the power-ups, do the damage, get the win, and what's going to be happening at the end of this best of 5 series. Remember, tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. This could potentially be the final game of the fall season, regular season.
We said maybe that there's no weaknesses, but actually I think the weakness for Vibe is when they don't have control. If Infused can start early and get control of the map, maybe that's how they win this game. But the early kills have gone in the way of Vibe. They're going to get Yard nice and early. You can see in the corner of your screen, they already have another Stronghold. So they're going to start to put points on the board now. And Snakey's in a position where he can try and deter anyone pushing him at Yard.
That were a pretty massive kill. And the one thing about when you look at Yard, it's very easy to get coverage because you've got this... You know, you've got when you see them coming through flowers, it's so easy just to duck behind the wall and put grenades down, put shots down the corridor, and just force them and bottleneck them. He did eventually go down, but still got the plot, and this is now it's all about. The points are ticking up. Going to be going up into double figures very, very shortly. They need to. Oh, that was a bit of an interesting challenge. Septic happily accepts it. Batchford's going to try and push on in as well, but the AR is too strong. Takes down one. He'll fall beneath the garbage truck as the grenades are coming thick and fast, and a battle for bottom mid is underway.
Interesting decision from Batchford to chase that kill rather than staying in bottom mid just to try and get that stronghold secured. He was, yes, okay, he got the kill onto Septic, but then Septic was able to call that out to his teammates. His teammates then regained control of the map. And you can see now, Infused are having to flood to Yard because it's all they go for as Nest is going. I mean, Snakey can just have his pickings here. He can just play with these guys like they're his toys, like they're his teddy bears, and he can put shots into them. He can tell his teammates to flank in from behind, and Vibe are just like piranhas swarming in on Infused right now.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate what a great play that was, just sitting there and waiting for the right call. Fair enough, he missed the initial guy hiding by the SMG because he was crouched down. Didn't see him on the radar, stayed up there, came back, and now this is almost, it's just like game one, but in terms of the team who's actually scoring it.
Yeah, but getting that first kill initially for Snakey was huge, and it secured that stronghold. And right now Infused, they do not have a roof over their head. They finally do. They get the nest, and this is an okay position to push out of, but you can see on the kill feed at the moment, it's actually Infused getting a couple of kills here and there, and I do believe Batchford's just picked up that power up as well, but nope, he's gone down. So Doodle and the squad now will have to try and get another couple of strongholds on the board, and they're doing pretty good right now. I mean, yes, Vibe had total control for a large majority of the game, and they've got a 48 point, make it a 49 point lead now, but what they are doing is making sure that they are always contesting one stronghold that they have, but just like that, Vibe are swarming in, and that's going to be total control once again.
I just don't have an answer for it, and honestly, I don't think Infused do either. This is just pure in-your-face aggression. Look at this, all 3 members in Cafe, 2 of them going to get trapped in flowers. SMG's in the back pocket of Cristola, so he can put great shots on Batchford. Looks on the radar, sees 2 players, drops in, there's one. Thank you very much. There's the second one. Beatdown comes in, double kill as well. And again, if they start spawning in there, he's gone easy coverage on them. 2 members are in the nest on the opposing side. Someone's up on S4, almost a double kill. No doubt that player will be left weak. 2 players advance over, and they force him down to S1. This is an absolute slaughter now by Team Vibe.
And this is why I said Infused needed to start well, because once Vibe are comfortable, they just run away with it. They are the runaway train right now. Every time Infused spawn, they get one stronghold, but then Vibe just collapse on them and don't give them any chance to breathe. This is looking painful for Infused, and we are looking like Vibe finishing second in the league if things carry on this way.
But they are attacking in bottom mid. There's 3 of them there. They do secure it. Now they've got some more points ticking away on the board. They need to push that triple cap, but they need to keep slaying as he works his way over to the nest. There's Snake. He needs to be careful. He's got a player crouching around the corner waiting to poke out, but still doesn't do no damage whatsoever. I think he hit his teammate, unfortunately, in front of him. That's not a great thing from Septic. However, you know, Infused will accept it. We'll say we'll take that free kill. Not a problem, my friends. Kimbo's going to advance up into top goal. Just check out Yard. Nobody's there. I say nobody's there. Someone's actually hanging down on the LR. 1, 2, 3 members all around that area. Great splinter nade, but doesn't get a single hit marker off. Septic comes around the corner. Doesn't find anybody, but you know what? Kimbo smacks him at the top of the head and takes the free kill as we see Snipe Drone dropping down to Whitecard, trying to grab himself bottom mid.
Yeah, all Vibe need is just to get control of one of these strongholds, take down some of these Infused players, and they should be able to push on and win this game. But Infused doing well to keep control, keep Vibe locked down at the moment in that Yard. and Vibe are really struggling to push out right now.
What I want to see Bashford do with his camo is exactly what he's doing now. Just do as much damage to Vibe as possible. Vibe are trying to push out this stranglehold that Infused have on them at the moment, but Bashford is just slaying them, and all of a sudden, Vibe are getting slayed in waves. You can see that Cristola and Snakey, I do believe that is, just spawned in it over towards the cafe, and at the moment, they're all spawning in waves, and Infused need to keep doing that, keep them spawning in waves, because then they might not know what to do, but you can see in the kill feed now, Vibe slaying out and starting to get a little bit more control on the map.
Here's the answer. Triple cap, full effect, getting some great points off. Bashford's going to dive in with the shotgun bottom mid. I don't want to say that's a waste, fair enough, he got one, but certainly dying with the shotgun bottom mid isn't the greatest. That's massive, coming out of Flux to stop the capture, pick up a double as well, still allow the triple cap to keep ticking for a little bit more. Grenades are going to go poke over at Nest, someone came straight up the lift, so he's going to get pushed straight back down. Snipe drone comes in. Flux says, welcome to the party, my friend. BR in hand, put some great shots on Snakey, staying alive for so long and really forcing them back into that Nest corner. Now they're going to try and assault on bottom mid. I'd honestly like to see a few more dead on their side. They've all come off the respawn. There's still one down over on this side of Vibe. But you know what? They're going to have a crack at it anyway. I think this might be the wrong play, but look at Yard.
Yeah, they have regained Yard here, but you can see Nest is now disappearing as well. So despite the fact Vibe had to move on, they managed to get 1 point back on the board. Still control for Infused. And I've got to give it to Flux when the tough gets going. Flux is always there. He's always in the situation. As soon as there is any aspect of the game where it comes down to a clutch kill, Flux is there, he gets the business done.
Unfortunately, Septic not whipping out that shotgun just in time. He will get a nice double beat down and go down as well, which means triple cap in full effect. Unless Cristola can do something, he's going to get collapsed on. In comes Hansa with the camo, then comes Batched as well. They're going to wipe him out, get the reset on that one.
Uh-oh.
This is dangerous waters. This is dangerous waters now, boys.
Well, I said, what was the weakness for the Vibe? When they don't have control. It's how they work out of this situation. Now they don't have any control of this map, as Flux is just going to get behind, get an important assassination there onto Snipe Drone. He is just a nuisance right now. They just need to bleed Vibe as much as possible as they are slowly worming their way back into this game. But it's whether they can hold on to that 100 points or if Vibe are finally going to find a way to break through this wall.
What do you think, guys? Push triple again or just kind of lock onto the two that they've got and make sure they stay alive? What's the better option here?
Well, at the moment, they just need to get the second one back because Vibe are starting to put points back on the board. I would say pushing for the triple cap is usually the most effective way because you're going to finish the game a lot quicker, but you also need to be careful you're not going to sacrifice that map control. Vibe now just need to contest this bottom mid for as long as possible.
Yeah, this fight for bottom middle is going to be vital for the rest of the game. You can see the points in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. The Slays are coming in from Infused. This could be absolutely huge if they can get bottom middle. It's still being contested by Vibe. Kimbo doing his best as he can. Oh my word, the reset's almost there from Vibe. The point's still ticking away. It's going to be Bashford, the last alive for Infused, but it's still being contested. Vibe, they will secure it and they will take the game as well as the series as well as second seed.
Credit where credit's due to Batchford at the end. He did everything he possibly could to stay alive, but the wave after wave of oncoming AR bullets was not enough. Vibe secure the series and second seed at the European Fall Season Pro League Finals.
And it was just because of that start from Vibe. It was absolutely incredible. They just set a massive deficit. Infused, credit to them, they tried to get back into the game, but in the end, Vibe were able to push through.
Top captures in the game came from Septic. Top slays actually came out from Flux. 21 in the game, most by far, but was not enough. I believe most of those kills came in that kind of mid-game resurgence from Infused, and they were so close to making that comeback. If only they'd started a little bit stronger, you'd have to say maybe they'd be forcing a game 5 at this moment in time. But credit to Vibe, they held on when the tough gets going down. They stuck in there.
When the going gets tough, Flux gets going.
Exactly.
That was awesome. But I mean, it kind of says so much for both of these teams, you know? We kind of look back to that game number 1 and fair enough, Vibe, they were getting slapped royally. However, they really started to heat up at the end of it. Unfortunately, that instantly got shut down because the damage had already been done. But it says so much for these teams. But you know what, guys? That's it. The seeds are done. There's a new boy in town. There's a new second seed. We came in with Team Infused in the summer season as a second. Now it's Team Vibe. Just before we move on, I want to get your feelings on how you think all these rosters... Do you think that the placement that they've landed in is bang on and kind of tells the story?
I think so, yeah, and especially after Jimbo's interview where he thinks that Vibe are their biggest competition, then it's quite right they go into this as second seed. Okay, it doesn't make much of a difference in finals. We're still going to have Infused versus Vibe. That's going to be one of our first games. So it's going to be an incredible one. It's going to see how the difference is between online and LAN. Jimbo seemed to think that Infused are better online. So if Vibe are able to do that online, then I'm quite worried for the Infused roster when they do get to finals.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think whenever it comes to finals, anything can happen. And I believe this league is very matchup dependent. I mean, we can see when we actually go on proleague.com/Halo, by the way, you should check that out. You can actually see the map kind of differential. And Infused was sat in second for a large proportion of the season, but they had actually lost a lot of maps. Whereas Vibe, actually, I think I'm not sure if it's math, they'd lost less maps, but were down there in third. I'm not even sure if that's mathematically possible, but I saw it happen. So, Dan, I don't know. Am I just making stuff up right now? No, you should go on proleague.com/Halo and check it out for yourself, because I'm pretty sure
I have no save.
I'm pretty sure Infused, huh?
I have no save, sorry.
You have no save?
No.
No?
No.
Help me.
Not today.
No, seriously, go on proleague.com/Halo, and I'm pretty sure Infused actually have lost more maps than Vibe did, despite being second in the league. Pretty sure that's how it worked out. I checked earlier, and they'd only won like 17 maps. Seriously, do you guys not go on proleague.com/Halo? Seriously?
I update the
work
website.
on it. I have to go on it every single day. It's a great website, though. If you want to watch all the VODs from pretty much all of the fall season, everything's on there. You can check team by team. You got Europe and North America. You click on a team, you can look at every single matchup. It's got a little player button by it, and it's got its own inbuilt VOD player. All the matchups. You can catch all the matchup as well that are coming on after this show. A couple of hours down the line over in North America. They are in week number 6. They've got 1 week left. And honestly, the action over there is heating up. Evil Geniuses looking down the barrel of what is a relegation gun at the moment. Things aren't too great on the EG bandwagon. However, EG being EG, they are prone to turning up. Didn't make finals both in both in relegation and also the top 4 last season. Could potentially be the same one, but less about North America, more back onto Europe. Let's show you guys at home exactly how fall season here has ended and the seeds going into the fall season finals. Fab 9-1, secure and lock in number 1 seed. Team Vibe, Green Arrow take down Team Infuse and steal the 2nd seed right beneath their feet with a 7-3 win to game loss. Unfortunately, red logo means red arrow. Down they go. Team Infuse will fall down 1 seed into 3rd place with a 7-3. They also have a 56% map win ratio. And then finally, staying stale but also in the fall season finals, Pulse Gaming 4 and 6.
I see what you mean now. You're talking about map percentages.
Map percentage. Infused actually had lost a lot of maps.
So basically, when Infused were winning, they were winning like 3 2s.
Exactly, yeah. It was triggering me because it wasn't like in order. It wasn't in ascending order, the map win percentage. Infused were in second with a less map win percentage, but now it's all fine because Vibe won out, so it's all good. Don't worry about it.
But it's all good.
So I was right in the end.
You was right. I saw where you were going, but I was lining you up.
No, I knew in my heart of hearts, but you guys were just looking at me with like your blank faces, and I was just like, what?
I didn't know what you were talking about, but now I can see that. I've remembered the map
I was right, because these guys were just like not helping me at all, and they were just looking at me with like just blank faces. Like,
to be fair, we give you that look most of the time you are speaking.
What are you talking about right now? I have no idea. You're just making stuff up.
This is why we let him use the controller, to be fair. And you just press the buttons, my friend.
I just like playing Halo.
You do actually do. You just started up a game by doing that.
We're playing campaign, boys.
He's actually just put campaign on.
24-hour stream until finals.
YOLO swag. But yeah, we want to thank everybody for joining us. This season has been absolutely fantastic. We want to say also thank you to everybody who's purchased a ticket for the fall season finals. 65 of you will be joining us here live in the studio on December 4th.
3rd and 4th.
4th
just
will be the open day, though. So yeah, the 3rd will be the online relegation matches. We'll be here and casting that live from the studio also. But yeah, generally, thank you very much for an incredible season. Thank you once again to the community. You know what? Before I do that, actually, I'll do that in the final sign-off. Gents, this is it. We're done until Open Circuit Finals. The stage is yours. Please, final notes as we sign off Pro League fall season.
We have our 4 teams. They are probably the 4 teams that deserve to be there. Sorry to the guys that did fall into relegation. It's been fantastic to cast and fantastic to work with these guys, and I look forward to finals, to be honest.
It just warms my heart. Thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate you so much, and we'll see you at finals.
There you have it then, guys. That is us done. We've given you the 4 teams. Unfortunately, we've sent 2 of them down to relegation. The big question is, can they survive and fight it through the next term of... Stop dabbing. What? I can see dabbing in my eyes.
I'm not dabbing.
No dabbing on stream. Well, it's not even on stream. Stop dabbing
Can you
in
do
my
that?
eye.
Come on, dab. It's your last chance for this season. Do it.
There we go. We've done a dab. We've done a dab. There you go, boys. It's all good. But yeah, thank you very much. I can't say enough, guys, and express so much to the community, what you guys do out there, all the people who tweet the streams, all the people that help support, all the forums, Team Biom especially. That's definitely the home of, you know, competitive Halo. Everyone's there. Everyone's posting 24/7. It's an awesome place. All the YouTubers, all the streamers, every single person that has anything to do with not just Halo Esports, but Halo as a whole. We do this for you. You make this possible. Thank you so very much. Fall season final is going to be amazing. And I believe to sign it off, we do have a triple dab coming in 3, 2, 1. Camera, go!
Cringe.
It's been a pleasure.
Cringe.
See you later, guys. We'll see you at Fall season finals.